SSD Department, where we supply sterile instrumentation and decontamination of flexible endoscopes for departments around the hospital. We have 23 members of staff working within SSD. We provide sterile instrumentation for clinical areas and theatres.
In the last financial year, our team has processed over 811,000 instruments, performed over 9,000 wash cycles, over 8,000 sterilisation cycles, and processed over 11,000 endoscopes. This makes huge contributions to patient care as we're in the service providing sterile, clean and safe instruments for clinicians to use on patients.
On average, the department supplies equipment for 300 procedures per week. We process different sizes of instruments, which range from an individual item such as a pair of scissors right through to large kits used for elective surgery. One of our largest kits is the Triathlon TS, which used for knee operation and has 524 instruments across 15 trays.
The Sterile Services Department is accredited by 2 external auditing bodies. One accreditation is for the provision of sterile surgical equipment, the other is for the provision of endoscopes. The Joint Advisory Group, or JAG accreditation, is awarded to endoscopy services that meet a strict set of criteria against which it is measured. In February 2021, our unit has received a full all-green classification which will go forward to the Joint Advisory Group.
The last 10 years we've been based next to theatres on level 5. The new unit was purpose-built and craned onto the building and was such a step forward to modernising the way the department works. The new building was the first sterile services unit in the country to receive an excellent rating under the BREEAM Environmental Assessment Scheme. It recognises a building's sustainable design and environmental performance.
The department works 6 days a week and provides an on-call out-of-hours service. Staff may be called in if endoscopes are used out of hours or theatre equipment needs reprocessing to meet service demands.
There are 3 distinct areas involved in reprocessing surgical equipment: a wash area, instrument assembly and packing room, and the autoclave dispatch area. We are going to take you on a journey of one of our kits. The Triathlon kit is used for knee replacement operations and consists of 135 instruments over 4 trays.
Here is the kit being used in theatres. When the surgical team have finished an operation, the equipment is placed in this trolley outside the operating theatre.
A member of our team then comes and collects the equipment and we take it back to our department. There is restricted entry to the unit as part of infection control measures. We have 2 lifts for trolleys, one for dirty equipment and one for sterile equipment, to guard against cross-contamination.
The dirty equipment is wheeled into the washroom. The team member then unloads the equipment and undertakes certain processes, including pre-cleaning of equipment, brushing cannulated items, flushing through cannulas, and treating heavily soiled equipment prior to it going into the washers.
Each tray or individual item carries its own unique barcode, which is used for traceability purposes. This allows us to locate the equipment and for it to be associated with a particular procedure on the patient. The staff member will scan the equipment barcodes to a particular washing machine, load it onto racks, and then push it into the washer.
The washer disinfectant machines are very much like domestic dishwashers. However, they operate to strict criteria whereby instruments are washed to specific timescales and temperatures with detergent which are laid down in best practice guidance. Washers disinfect at a temperature of 92 degrees and a wash cycle takes approximately 45 minutes to complete.
The unit operates on a pass-through system whereby equipment travels from dirty to clean areas without any backtracking, again to guard against cross-contamination. So the equipment is placed in the washers in the wash area and the door is closed, But once the cycle is complete, an opposite door opens into the pack room, a clean area, where it is removed.
Once cleaned, team members in the pack room unload the equipment onto shelving ready for packing. A team member will take a tray and scan it using individual barcodes on the tray into our traceability software. This generates a check sheet and a two-part heat-sensitive label which will eventually be attached to the kit.
The equipment undergoes inspection and functionality testing. This means that each instrument is inspected for cleanliness and to check that it is fit for purpose. Staff are mindful that these instruments are being used on patients and they must be safe to do so.
Following inspections and function testing, the equipment is laid out in the trays, left to right according to the checklist. The checklist is ticked by the team member acknowledging what is present in the sets. The set is then placed in a clean tin, again the integrity of which is checked by staff. Each tin is sealed with a lid that locks into place and tamper-proof seals are secured to the tin.
Once ready, the equipment continues its journey by being scanned into an autoclave ready for steam sterilisation. An autoclave is like an oven which sterilises equipment to a high temperature. The equipment is loaded onto special trolleys and wheeled to the autoclave. The door is closed and the autoclave is activated. Sterilisation cycle takes approximately 50 minutes, and like the wash process, it must attain a specific temperature for a certain time. In this case, between 134 to 137 degrees centigrade for a minimum of 3 minutes.
The kit then comes out of the autoclave and is scanned, so it can be recorded that the equipment has been processed. The trays are then left cool for a minimum of 1 hour before being loaded up and taken to the correct departments.
The tamper-proof seals and external labels have heat-sensitive indicators. Once in the autoclave, providing the specified temperature is reached, the indicators change colour. When the cycle is finished, these act as a visual indicator to show that the autoclave has reached the correct temperature.
The whole sterilisation process takes a minimum of 4 hours depending on the urgency of the equipment required. Once the equipment has been through the autoclave and are sterile, they have an expiry time of 1 year.
We hope you found this journey interesting and now know more about how we work.